I started my political career before I engaged in the LGBT movement. So I knew that if I want to be a fair politician, I will need to be fair to myself. And I could not imagine that I will be pretending, like my colleagues do in this assembly room, that I'm straight while I'm not straight. So I wanted to be always honest to myself, not to pretend someone who I'm not. And that's why I was fighting also for these egoist reasons, to live in the world where being gay is not a reason to be discriminated or intolerated or not to be a politician. When you go on the streets of Warsaw, you will see that Warsaw is ready for more changes concerning equality of men and women, LGBT rights, more progressive human rights than now. And when you discuss mainly young people, but in general, when you discuss with people, people say, we don't understand why we cannot use in vitro, why we cannot have registered partnerships, why women cannot decide about their health, why there is no freedom of choice. Even though we are dominated by Catholics, 95% of Polish society declares that they are Catholic, but even though then Polish people want to be free, they want to share the similar values concerning the tolerance and human rights like the Western societies. The fact that I was elected is a great sign, but on another hand, you will hear a lot of attacks, the violence against LGBT people. You will hear also in politics homophobic, inflammatory language. But comparing to the taboo we had 20 years ago, that we were not ready to discuss the issue, the change was tremendous during these years. The main issue on terms of LGBT rights are registered partnerships, anti-homophobic legislation concerning, for example, changes in criminal code, then anti-discrimination legislation, and the gender reassignment legislation. We still do not have a good legislation on that. So there are four main issues we are fighting for, and I say society has changed. Society demands the changes in these fields. We're waiting for the legislative decisions. They are simple, they do not cost much, but only because of the fear of the politicians they are not being adopted. So I think the biggest obstacle, and I say it with full responsibility as a politicians, are politicians.